So let's talk about popular hairstyles for women in the 1960s. Hairstyles can reflect your mood, your personality, your occupation, even your social status, your culture, and the decade that you're presently living in, or a previous one that you may be inspired by. Needless to say, hair is not only reflective, but also a form of expression. When I think of the 60s, there are things that immediately come to mind, like lava lamps, go-go boots, the Beatles. Then I also think about the 60s being a very heavy, divisive, and tumultuous time. There was so much going on in the 60s that we won't even begin to scratch the surface of it in this video. There were 3 major assassinations: JFK, MLK, and Malcolm X. There were also many revolutions going on, such as the Black Panther Party, Freedom Riders, and the Civil Rights Movement. And then on the other hand, there was the Barbie doll sensation, Motown Records was at its peak, and a man walked on the moon. And of course, that man being Neil Armstrong. I personally always consider the 60s the decade of the opposites or the contrasts. For example, it was a heavy and light time, and that was even reflected with the makeup. It was very popular for women to wear very heavy or dark eye makeup with a nude or light lip coloring. It was also a time of high and low, with the popular style being long sleeves paired with the miniskirts. There was also a contrast of hard and soft. Going back to the hair, hard styles like the beehives were mixed with soft, lifted curls. My point in prefacing all of this is to give you a little bit of context about this revolutionary era and how it impacted hair. So now let's dive right into the hairstyles. Number 1, the Afro. Like I stated, the 60s were a time of revolution, and with the civil rights movement gaining momentum, women, especially black women, felt liberated, and this gave birth to the Afro and the natural hair movement. The fro was worn as a political statement and as a form of black pride and black power to consciously break away from the pressures of conforming to Eurocentric beauty norms. The Afro was a symbol of rebellion and the fight against racial inequality and the declaration of self-love and pride. These movements and protests all led up to the signing of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This act ended segregation in public places and banned employment discrimination. To further understand how we got to this point, you have to go all the way back to the 20s with Madam C.J. Walker and her straightening formula and the hot comb, where black women felt the need to straighten their hair for societal acceptance or economic advancement. Black hair was often mocked and deemed as unacceptable, so with straightened hairstyles came more opportunities. So by the time we got to the 60s, we were just really tired and fed up and demanded change. It was also said that even some white women would get their hair permed so that they also could wear their hair in an afro as well. A famous quote from the activist Marcus Garvey reads, "Don't remove the kinks from your hair, remove the kinks from your brain." So when you hear phrases like, "Black is beautiful," "I'm black and I'm proud," think about this particular decade and time. Some prominent figures that rocked the afro during this time were singer, songwriter, and activist Nina Simone, who definitely expressed her frustrations and her emotions in her music. Also activist Angela Davis and musicians Jimi Hendrix and James Brown. Number 2, the bob and short hairstyles. Okay, let's just define the word bob. Bob is a style in which the hair is cut short and evenly all around so that the hair hangs above the shoulders. One of the most impressive things about the bob is that you can really wear it in any decade because there are so many different variations of it. You can wear it straight, curly, blunt. You can wear it with bangs. You can wear it without bangs. You can wear one side pushed behind the ear. It's just that style that you can do whatever you want to do with it. And if you want to cut your hair but still keep a little bit of a length, then the bob still works because you can still get the asymmetrical bob with the hair being longer in the front and shorter in the back. The style really does transcend any decade. It was very popular in the 20s, the 90s, and throughout the 2000s. So it's no surprise that it was a staple haircut in the 60s. One of the most popular ways that it was worn in the 60s was flipped, or as it was referred to, the flipped bob or the flicked bob, in which the ends of the hair were curled upward. This was also the signature look of the First Lady, Jacqueline Kennedy, who was known for her style and fashions. You can also refer to Mary Tyler Moore, who also championed this look, and you can refer to Diana Ross, who sported the symmetrical bob when she was in the singing group The Supremes. Due to the 60s counterculture presence, this led to what is known as the short hair explosion, when women leaned more towards shorter, edgier styles as opposed to the fluffy, pompadour, or the bouffant looks of the 50s. I always kind of felt like that when this happened, women were saying like, hey, I don't have to have long hair to feel like a woman or to feel beautiful, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it all off. And then men were saying, hey, so if you're gonna go ahead and cut your hair off, then why do I have to have short hair? I'll just go ahead and grow my hair out. So during this time, men wore their hair very long. So basically, whatever was considered normal or acceptable, you would just do the opposite of that, and there was power in that. Some of the most popular hairstyles during this time were the Vidal Sassoon cut, popular for being sharp and low maintenance, the Mia Farrow haircut from the movie Rosemary's Baby, and the short haircut with the side part from the model Twiggy. You may also want to refer to Audrey Hepburn for her pixie cut and other short do's during this time, just to name a few. We also saw the short hair craze make a comeback in the 90s, but I'll save that for a separate video. Number 3, the Bombshell. So the name kind of says a lot about this look. It is by far one of my favorites, which is why I'm wearing a version of it in this video. This look can be very dramatic. You can play it up or down. You can go very glamorous, or you can keep it very casual. You can wear it with a scarf, or you can even wear it pinned up. There are different variations to this look. I call it the combination look because it combines different elements to achieve one look. So to achieve the bombshell look, what you'd want to do is have some kind of volume or fluff in the middle. Women would usually tease their hair, put what we call lifts or combs in their hair to give it a little bit of height, or you can put a full beehive there as well, just whatever your preference. Hairspray was definitely used to achieve this look, and of course if you needed more support, you can definitely insert a couple of bobby pins as well. As for the front, you want to have loose flowing curls falling to the side and also loose flowing curls falling to the back. I've also seen this style worn straight or even with some kind of design in the back. This style can be really, really beautiful, especially if you put a lot of time into it. I like it because it has a glamorous side to it, but also a very light, flowy side to it as well. This is a quintessential 60s look. When you think about hairstyles in the 60s, this one should come to mind immediately. Another way women achieved this look was by using what was called Carmen curlers, which were popular electric rollers during this time. With this style, you definitely want to have big lifted curls, so rollers can definitely help you achieve that look. To give you a visual, the first person that comes to mind is the French actress Brigitte Bardot, and I love the pinned up version that she wears right here. Need I say more? Number 4, last but not least, the beehive. Another quintessential look for the 60s and also another one of my favorites. I love creating this look with a big side bang, as you see here. Now, to achieve this look, you have to compile your hair upward on the middle of your head into a circular, almost a cone-like shape, in which the hair is slightly going backwards. To achieve, you would just use, like I stated earlier, hairspray, teasing, combs, lifts, hair rats, or really whatever you could find to just maintain the shape and the integrity of the style. I'm sure some women during this time probably got very creative when it came to this hairstyle. This look is usually seen worn with bangs. It is very classy and very elegant, and what I like about it a lot is that it can be easily modernized. You can just lower the beehive, and instead of having a full bang in the front, you can just trade it out for a side swoop. When I think of this style, I immediately think of the 1960s female singing group, the Ronettes, who became very popular for their song, Be My Baby. Here are a few more examples for your reference. Aretha Franklin, Barbara Streisand, Amy Winehouse, and Miss Beehive herself, Beyonce, wearing a literal beehive. So that's all we have for today. So please tell me in the comments which ones were your favorites or which ones would you like to see come back. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.